Hopefully everyone can hear me. This is Brian Bear. I'm the president of the Hudson Valley Soccer Referee Association. Tonight we're going to be talking about assignments through game officials. Myself and Kathy Romano are on, and I'm going to mute myself while Kathy does her presentation, and then Kathy will turn it over to me. We'll do a little bit of a screen share, and then we'll open it up to questions and answers. This presentation is being recorded, and it will be posted onto the HVSRA website probably early part of next week. So with that, Kathy, I turn it over to you.
Okay. Well, welcome new and returning referees, and I hope everyone can hear me, hopefully. Hopefully everyone had a wonderful summer and you're ready to get to work. The season is here, so we need to get on the field and cover these games. Again, my name is Kathy Romano. I'm the Eastern New York District 4 Assigner Coordinator, as well as the assigner for East Hudson, EDP, New York Cup, State Cup, Premier games that are played in our region. I have been in this role for 14 wonderful years, and believe it or not, I still do enjoy it, even though it's a 24/7 job. But you guys make it interesting, and you're a good crew, and I really appreciate everyone's support. So before we get to Brian's demo, I just wanted to give some reminders. As some of the returning refs know, but we do have a lot of new refs. The role of a referee starts before you step foot on the field, and it does not end until it doesn't end when you step off the field. It is a real job, and it takes from end to end, it takes your cooperation and following through. And basically, the first step is to get into Game Official, which is the assigning tool that is going to be used by all assigners. And I should back up before I get to that part, just to also introduce that there's 24 club assigners, and they assign the younger East Hudson travel and club recreational games. And a list of those assigners by club are going to be posted, or is out in HVSRA website, but the latest one will get out there as well. But regardless who your assigner is, all games will be assigned through Game Official. So it is important that you do your due diligence to make it all work. So as I said, your role starts before you get on the field, and it does not end when you step off the field. You need to log into Game Official, and you need to block your calendar if you are not available. This may be a little different for some of you that also ref for men's league. We are keeping the youth system the same in the sense that if you do not block your time, it's assumed you're available, and appreciate you accepting the game. So it's very important that you go in and block your time if you're not available. If you want to only ref for certain clubs, it's very important that you note that in your preferences, and Brian will take you through that, and you put down the club names so that the various assigners, myself and the various club assigners, know that which clubs you want to work for. If you're associated with a team, meaning you either coach it or your sibling plays on the team, you need to, again, reflect that in your personal preferences so that the tool will not allow an assigner to assign you to ref a game that you coach or a sibling plays on. This does not block your calendar. All it does is it blocks you from getting assigned to that team to ref it. You still have to go in and block your calendar. Game official is new to myself and all the other assigners, and we are learning as we go. If we find the feature that is similar to Arbiter, that it'll also block your time, we'll let you know. But for now, if you are coaching or playing, you need to block your time. As soon as you receive a notification, and Brian will also take you through how to set it up so you get text messages and you can accept the assignment from your phone or from a computer. You need to accept it right away. Don't say, I'll get to it later, because we all know what that means. You'll never get to it. And then the next thing you know, the assigner is trying to either reassign it or track you down, and do your due diligence. Accept the game. If you showed available, accept the game. Contact the home coach and give them your contact.
I think we're going to start. Hopefully everyone can hear me. This is Brian Bear. I'm the president of the Hudson Valley Soccer Referee Association. Tonight we're going to be talking about assignments through game officials. Myself and Kathy Romano are on, and I'm going to mute myself while Kathy does her presentation, and then Kathy will turn it over to me. We'll do a little bit of a screen share, and then we'll open it up to questions and answers. This presentation is being recorded, and it will be posted onto the HVSRA website probably early part of next week. So with that, Kathy, I turn it over to you.
Okay. Well, welcome new and returning referees, and I hope everyone can hear me, hopefully. Hopefully everyone had a wonderful summer and you're ready to get to work. The season is here, so we need to get on the field and cover these games. Again, my name is Kathy Romano. I'm the Eastern New York District 4 Assigner Coordinator, as well as the assigner for East Hudson, EDP, New York Cup, State Cup, Premier games that are played in our region. I have been in this role for 14 wonderful years, and believe it or not, I still do enjoy it, even though it's a 24/7 job. But you guys make it interesting, and you're a good crew, and I really appreciate everyone's support. So before we get to Brian's demo, I just wanted to give some reminders. As some of the returning refs know, but we do have a lot of new refs. The role of a referee starts before you step foot on the field, and it does not end when you step off the field. It is a real job, and it takes, from end to end, it takes your cooperation and following through. And basically, the first step is to get into Game Official, which is the assigning tool that is going to be used by all assigners. And I should back up before I get to that part, just to also introduce that there's 24 club assigners, and they assign the younger East Hudson travel and club recreational games. And a list of those assigners by club are going to be posted, or is out in HVSRA website, but the latest one will get out there as well. But regardless who your assigner is, all games will be assigned through Game Official. So it is important that you do your due diligence to make it all work. So as I said, your role starts before you get on the field, and it does not end when you step off the field. You need to log into Game Official, and you need to block your calendar if you are not available. This may be a little different for some of you that also ref for men's league. We are keeping the youth system the same in the sense that if you do not block your time, it's assumed you're available and appreciate you accepting the game. So it's very important that you go in and block your time if you're not available. If you want to only ref for certain clubs, it's very important that you note that in your preferences, and Ryan will take you through that, and you put down the club names so that the various assigners, myself and the various club assigners, know that which clubs you want to work for. If you're associated with a team, meaning you either coach it or your sibling plays on the team, you need to, again, reflect that in your personal preferences so that the tool will not allow an assigner to assign you to ref a game that you coach or a sibling plays on. This does not block your calendar. All it does is it blocks you from getting assigned to that team to ref it. You still have to go in and block your calendar. Game official is new to myself and all the other assigners, and we are learning as we go. If we find the feature that is similar to Arbiter, that it'll also block your time, we'll let you know. But for now, if you are coaching or playing, you need to block your time. As soon as you receive a notification, and Brian will also take you through how to set it up so you get text messages and you can accept the assignment from your phone or from a computer. You need to accept it right away. Don't say, I'll get to it later, because we all know what that means. You'll never get to it. And then the next thing you know, the assigner is trying to either reassign it or track you down, and do your due diligence. Accept the game. If you showed available, accept the game. Contact the home coach and give them your contact information. So if there's last minute changes, they'll call you directly. I joke that it's a 24/7 job, but that's literally impossible for myself and the other assigners to be on call every time a last minute change occurs. So it's important that you call the coaches and let them know that you're their referee. And so if there's last minute changes, they'll call you directly. And then you need to let your assigner know that there was a last minute change. And if you're a center ref for a 3-man system, then you also need to let your ARs know. So as a center ref, you have extra responsibility. You're responsible for your crew. You got to let them know if there's a change. You can't just depend on the assigner to make sure the system's up to date, because again, we're not in front of the tool 24/7. After the game, if you're the center ref, you must submit a game report. There is a game report feature in Game Official. We are working on potentially turning that on, but until then, you are doing it the way you did it before, by depending on the league, printing, faxing, emailing. However you did it in the Arbiter world, you will continue doing until further notice. But Game Official does have a feature that we will look into potentially turning on. Those are the reminders as an official, and I know some of this is repetitive, but it is very important that everyone follow those rules. A brief overview of the assigning process. Once the season is underway, I try to assign the games I'm responsible for at least a few weeks out. Local assigners may do it differently. They may do it the same week. They may do the entire season. They all have the option to do their assignments their own way, except they all will put their assignment in Game Official. So you need to get used to using it. I know in Arbiter, we tried last season to enforce it, and then we knew the system was going away, and we ended up not pursuing it towards the end. But now Game Official is it. You have to use the tool if you want to be assigned. and the assigners know they have no choice. So local assigners may assign last minute or the entire season, it doesn't matter, but they will be using Game Official. For my own assignments, by midweek, games that are not accepted will go out in an open game list. Hopefully, as the season goes on and everyone starts really doing their due diligence and updating their calendar and accepting their assignments, we will see that amount of games uncovered shrink. That is the goal. But midweek, I will send that list out. Do not reply to that note. When the note used to come from Arbiter, the batch email, the reply would come to me. Today I learned that you guys are, if you do a reply, it goes into a generic system and never to be found again. So when you get a batch email, you need to forward your response to Roma7779@AOL. Do not do a reply. Again, if we find that there's a fix to that, as we get used to the new system, we will let you know. But for now, you have to do a forward to the Roma ID. Those were basically the items I wanted to cover. Brian, I don't know if you can open the lines in case they have any questions on this portion.
Yes, I could do that. I'll open the lines and we can do a quick 4-minute Q&A with Kathy, and then I'll mute everybody else again and I'll go through my presentation.
Oh, brush your hair.
Right.
Hold your million.
Are there any questions? Questions going once. Questions going twice. Okay. Okay. So again, this is Brian Baer. I am the president of HVSRA. Like you, I am an official. I work in the Hudson Valley area, both sides of the river, doing USSF games. I'm also working with the adult leagues, HVSRA, which runs from Mid-Westchester up to the top of our county. And I also do high school games during the week, predominantly in the city, since that's where I work. I'm just going to run through a few items that I think are important. I'm a big believer of playing around with the platform as much as you can so that you feel comfortable navigating it to your best abilities. So I'm going to show you kind of what I see on my side and how to do some of your preferences. So this is the basic screen. We're going to do the login, and up comes my District 4 Eastern New York portal. District 4 is Hudson Valley, which is our district. One thing I do want to preface before we get a little bit further, there is a code of conduct for us referees that is issued by USSF. I sent out a mass email about that I think it was in late April. I will be sending that similar email out again tomorrow to remind everyone of what your responsibilities are as an official. With that said, and not getting into too much of my personal info, I'm going to click on mail and email notices. You can get your email, your game notices via email. You can get them via text message. It can be one per game. It can be one per batch. It's pretty self-explanatory. you do want to make sure that you click on subscribe to this group and to other groups. My availability, which is the big to-do. Anything that is gray on your calendar will show up as neutral, meaning that you either are or are not available. And I think Kathy's default, as she said earlier, is that you are available. If you have a date that is blocked out in red, such as I have my Saturday, actually most of my Saturdays are blocked out because I teach in the mornings as well as play in my over 40 league in the afternoons. And then I make myself available all day on Sunday. And so that shows up in green. When you accept matches, such as I have here on September the 9th, you can click on that, and then you will be able to see that you really shouldn't be doing that, because this error message will come up and say, do you want to change it? Yes or no? And that will come into conflict with some of the games that you may have already accepted. You will see at the bottom of your screen which groups you have blocked with an X, which groups you have accepted on that particular day with a check mark. And you can also have the opportunity to do batch availability down at the bottom. So you can click on each and every one of these slam downs. So District 4 is Hudson Valley, District 10 is HVSRA. I'm also an instructor. I'm also a member of USL, as well as WSRO, which is the Westchester League. I'm going to skip my preferences for a second and go to my games. When you have accepted games, this is what your screen is going to look like, and it's based on a 1 week. I've set my default to 1 week. I can also set my default to a month, and that will show up for the balance of September. Right now, my only assignments are through or for this particular Sunday. That doesn't mean that I won't be getting any more games for the balance of September. It just means that I haven't been assigned anything yet, and that's up to your assigner. My assigners, it will show who the assigners are for the particular district. So these are all of the assigners that are listed in the Hudson Valley. You can click on the icon with the eye, and that will provide a little bit of information as to who that assigner is, phone number, et cetera, et cetera. If you are a part of another group within Game Officials, it's pretty simple. You can go to changing your identity. You can switch to District 10, as in my case, and now you have different rights within that particular district. So I'm going to go back to number 4. We have not set up payments through Game Officials for our district. You still will be paid on the field. I do not know if that's going to change, but for now, being paid on the field is status quo. The group info allows you to see who the other officials are in the district, who the teams are, where the locations are. And as Kathy mentioned before, we are going to be talking about hopefully issuing or instituting providing reports through the Game Officials portal. So you can see when you click on officials, simple alphabet, you can click on your the letter and come up with all of the various people associated with the first letter of their last name. Excuse me. Teams is similar, and you have the ability to search for teams. The contact is usually the head coach of that particular team. So for the Dover Miners, Eric Kelly, I do not have access to that. So Kathy, we're going to need to talk to Coco about making that happen. And then the locations portal gives you the directions to each and every location that is loaded up onto the screen, or into Game Officials, excuse me. Preferences. This allows the official to modify your preferences for locations, for times and days, or for teams, whether it's your particular team or your sister's team or your cousin's team, or if you have a family conflict, it allows you to put that here. So you're going to type in your conflict, hit save, and the assigners associated with the district will be able to see that. I'm going to jump back to availability real quickly and go through the steps of accepting a day or blocking out a day. So I want to block out because I know I'm going to be away for the last week in September. So I'm going to click on the 25th. I'm going to make myself unavailable all day, and I'm going to do it for all of my leagues for that particular day. And then I'm going to save my entry. And now that date has been blocked. Similarly, I can do multiple days. So same option. I'm just going to click this box down at the bottom. And now I'm going to go from the 9th to the 12th all day and save my entry. I can make myself available for a particular day and a particular time simply by entering in the appropriate information. For all of these leagues, for those dates, and now I've made myself available for those 3 days. Unavailable for those 4, unavailable for that 1. It is that simple. My hope is that you'll play around with what feels comfortable for you and accept your games in a timely fashion. So with that said, I am going to open it up for questions. Are there any questions?
Yeah, you can email your advisor and set up an.
What's the point of marking yourself available?
Great question. The point of marking yourself available is to
No, but like go into
tell the assigners that you are definitively available for that day.
Una reunión. No,
yeah, that's
Actually, I'm going to mute everyone and then once to unmute yourself and ask questions. If you have a question, please unmute yourself.
So Brian, maybe you should repeat the answer to repeat the question and the answer that you just got before.
Sure. The question was, why is it important to make yourself available? And the answer to that question is to definitively tell the assigners that you are working with, whether they are local club folks or it's Kathy or someone else for a different group within our district, that you are definitively available on that particular day for that particular time.
So that's something that's different than just leaving it unmarked. I mean, so Kathy, you see something different because it's marked green?
So what I see on my end, if you did not mark yourself blocked, your name will come up as available to be assigned. But if you did that extra step and went and put available, then it would not only come up with your name, but next to it, it would say is available. So your name would come up either way if you did not block as not available. But if you do go and do that extra step of clicking available, it'll just come up with the words next to your name.
Got it. That helps. Thanks.
Thank you, Bruce. Any other questions?
Hey, Brian, Jim Geary.
Hi, Jim.
Quick question. In Arbiter, we had the ability to limit our driving distance. Does this new application have that too?
Yes.
Where is that?
Under preferences, miscellaneous preferences, you would you would put your location here.
Okay.
And then you're always going to want to click save.
Right.
Does that answer your question?
If that's the way we're doing it, that answers my question. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next question. Ryan.
Oh, I was curious about what we were gonna do with new users, because I didn't understand that. Like, because I have every time I try to log in, it gives me a error message saying you have to have a group number and an access code, and I have neither of those things. So I'm not sure where I need to get those, or if I need to get those,
You do.
because I do.
Yes, your access code is 1607 and your group number is 1607.
Awesome. 16.
And if you have never logged in, Coco says to try your first and last name, just all lowercase, first and last name, no space, and then use the word password as your password.
Okay. So leave password as my password, and then go and do because there's a whole new user sign up page. Fill it all out, and then put password as my password, and then send that off to Coco.
No, you're going into, you're typing in gameofficials.net. And
Yes, I'm there.
putting your user ID, which is going to, you try your first and your last name, lowercase, no space. And then you put in the word password for your password. And then it should ask you for a group access, your group number, and you put in 1607, and you asks you for your access, you put in the same number, and it should get you in. If it does not, then send an email, send it to me and Coco, or definitely keep me in the loop so I know that you're trying to get on.
Okie dokie. I will.
Ryan, are you a new official?
I refed last year. I refed in the fall of last year and the spring of last year.
Okay, great. Well,
But
and I asked that question only because we have about 30 new referees that were recently minted within the last 2 weekends. That some are and some are not loaded up into game officials yet. So
that brings up a good point. Game Officials is much more robust and better in the sense that it is linked to the Federation. So once you finish the class, within a week, the data is out there, and all you have to do is the assigners. This is especially important for the assigners because they know when there's new reps. Just send me the official's name, and I go out there, and it's one check mark, and they're in your pool of reps. So all the assigners that are on, you currently have 600 referees in your pool of reps, which is something you did not have before. So, but again, if once you finish the class, I need to know, and I'll check mark it, and you will be in the pool of reps that all the assigners see. If you never logged in, and there were quite a few that, even though you've been reffing like you, Ryan, that says that they're in the pool, but there's a clear note next to it on the list that says never logged in or something like that. And that's why you're having problems. But hopefully this workaround will work for folks that have never logged in.
Right.
Yeah, I'm on my computer right now, and so I can close and open the tabs. So I'm listening to you guys and working through it right now.
Okay.
And is it a space for username in between my first and last name, or no?
No.
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 Okay, because it's not using password as my password. It's setting invalid username and/or password. Please try again. So.
Ryan, just drop me a note and copy.
Yeah.
Have his email. If not, I will forward it to him.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I don't want to hinder everyone else's time with my personal problems.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ryan. Kathy, do you have the ability to assign me a game, like right now?
Yes.
All right. Why don't you do that? And Randy, I see your message on the group chat. I will get to that answer once Kathy assigns me a game. Max asks, if you enter your hometown and location preferences, does that limit you to only ref in one town, or will you be assigned in the surrounding towns as well? You will only be assigned to that particular town. So if you want to be assigned specifically to Pleasant Valley, or to town of Poughkeepsie, or to city of Poughkeepsie, you should be as specific as you feel comfortable with.
Yes. You can put, I've seen notes of some of the refs have put out there already that put like 4 or 5 different clubs. Mm-hmm. It's up to the assigner to read the notes, but you can put more than one club out there.
Right.
But
critical alert from Microsoft. Your computer has alerted us that it is infected by a virus and/or spyware. This virus may be sending your credit card details, Facebook login, and personal emails to hackers remotely. Please call us immediately at the toll-free number listed, so that our support engineers can walk you through the removal process over the phone. If you close this page before calling us, we will be forced to disable your computer to prevent further damage to our network. Error number 268D3. Critical alert from Microsoft. Your computer has alerted us that it is infected by a virus and/or spyware. This virus may be sending your credit card details, Facebook login, and personal emails to hackers remotely. Please call us immediately at the toll-free number listed, so that our support engineers can walk you through the removal process over the phone. If you close this page before calling us, we will be forced to disable your computer to prevent further damage to our network. Error number 268D3. Critical alert from Microsoft. Your computer has alerted us that it is infected by a virus and/or spyware. This virus.
Kathy, are you there?
Did anyone else hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I couldn't hear anyone else. It was very strange.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that is because I'm on a Mac.
Okay.
Well, that's a scam anyway. They call in and they get access into your computer, and then they put shit in there.
Right.
Who-
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only way to get rid of it.
Okay, so Kathy's still working on assigning me a game so that I can show. So basically, while she's doing that, from Charlie, I'm an adult in my 40s. How can you get on all the assigners' radar and get added to their groups to get assigned games for different age groups and weekly night games? EHYSL does not have evening games. They're either on Saturdays if it's in-house games, or they're on Sunday afternoons for travel teams. Charlie, if you are a new referee, please send me a note and I will make sure that your name gets passed on to the appropriate assigners. One thing that I do want to put out there for those of you who are new or who have been minted as of January 1st, 2017, we are holding on-field clinics starting next Saturday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. at the East Fishkill Soccer Complex, which is on Route 52. We are going to be talking about field mechanics and all of the fun things that we get to do as officials. For anyone minted after January 1st, 2017, these are mandatory. I can't stress that enough. I will be sending out another email, Audrey, about the clinics. They are posted on the calendar of events on the HVSRA website. So you will be able to see the location, mark it on your calendar. Thank you, Rob, for chiming in on that. Let's see if Kathy has assigned me a game.
No, I have not assigned you a game.
Oh, Kathy.
Down.
Anyway,
Sorry.
what you would see is a game similar to this bar. It would give the game number, the date and time, the league and level, your position, the location, who the teams are, but it would be in yellow. And then off to the left here, it would be there would be a checkbox for accept or a checkbox for decline. You click the one that you want. If you get assigned groups of games, which Kathy tends to do, you can accept each game individually, or you can decline or accept the games as a group. Again, at your preference. So when you get a game assigned, the game will be in yellow. Once it's accepted, it'll either be in gray or white, depending on how many games you have for that particular weekend. Randy, does that answer your question? Good. From DJ Then, once we are logged into our accounts, are we automatically good for assignments? I would say yes.
Well, you have to make sure you update your calendar though, because when you say good for your assignments, are you really available every Saturday and Sunday and so you really need to go into your calendar and make sure that you block the times you're not available. So just logging in is not the answer. You have to go into your calendar.
Right. To answer your question, Audrey, not all 10 clinics are mandatory, but you should attend at least one. And Rob, you and I can talk offline about setting up a clinic on the west side of the river. I think that would be good. Do we have to join the group once we log into our account? You are automatically joined in the group. Mr. Cianzo.
Yes, Kathy, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Let me double check something. You said that if we've never used this system before, our user ID is a first name, last name, all lowercase, no space, and the password is password?
Yes, that is what Coco recommended. Now, if that, and then if it asks you for the group number.
No,
and
it just said get lost, you don't exist.
Okay, so you don't remember your user ID at all. Let's do this. You take your test.
No, we don't have to take everybody's time up now.
Okay, but everyone remember, you take your test online, the user ID, password, everything is the same. So if you took your test online, then try that user ID and password.
I did. It didn't work either.
Okay, so send me a note.
Okay.
Well, the other thing you should be able to do is reset your password, right?
Yes.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't accept my user ID. And
Okay. Actually, I can look up your user ID, Rich, and I'll try and do that and see if I can send it to you here. Give me just a minute.
no, well, don't, like I said, we don't have to take, I can't accept any games anyway for a while, so it doesn't matter. I don't want to take anybody's time up.
Do we have any other questions? George.
Yeah. If you accepted a game and something unforeseen comes up and you cannot make it, what's the process to turn it back?
Call the assigner.
Okay, so you cannot do it on the website. Okay, thanks.
You couldn't do it in Arbiter either.
Okay.
Any other questions? Going once. Where do we go to get to do the text? You mean the test? The test is available now on Game Officials.
And it's part of that other group. You have to change your identity to why.
Right. Let me go through that right now for everyone. Audrey, I will get to your question in a moment. You're going to change your identity to HVSRA official. So you're going to go to that. And then you're going to go to courses, if I have that correct. Yep. And then you're going to go to referee courses. And because I'm a grade 7, although they're giving me access to my grade 6, which is very nice of them, I can choose to either do the grade 7 or the grade 6 exam. Felix, does that answer your question? All right. Audrey asks, is the online course the correct one to take for the 2019 recertification? Yes, because we are recertifying for 2019. If you see 2018 or something earlier than that, do not pass go, do not collect $200, and send me, Klaus, and Coco a note. You're welcome.
Let me just add, if there's any assigners on, you also have to recertify and take the online assigner class. I don't know if you noticed it on the screen when Brian was in there, but the assigner exam for 2019 is out there as well.
Right.
That's only for currently certified assigners. You can't just take it if you never took the assigner course.
Right. Mr. Boys asks about game reports. Right now, Bob and everyone else, we're going to continue doing the youth game reports for EHYSL the way we have been doing it, including the rosters, and sending that into referee reports at ehysl.org. We have not set up the report portal for our district on game officials yet. DJ Van asks, even though I've logged in, I don't see any calendar nor anywhere to accept games. Well, I only see these once I've been assigned games. You should be able to see your calendar now. You might need to refresh your screen. And you're only going to see games in your portal once you've been assigned a game. Of course, you can always go back and see which games you declined. Yes, Charlie, for all game reports for EHYSL, you're going to send them to referee reports at ehysl.org.
But the HVSRA website has all the places where you send your game reports to. So
Right. So you can go to the HVSRA.org website, and under game, I think it's under game protocol. You'll see where you can send your reports. Ryan asked, do we have to take the class in person as well as the online course to be certified for 19? If you are recertifying, everything is done online now. You do not have to take. I don't even think you can take a paper version of the test anymore. I think it's all done online. You're welcome. I'm just going to scroll up and make sure that I have answered everybody's questions. Okay. Are there any other questions?
My name's Rosa, and I was wondering if I took the clinics in Westchester, would it still count for the clinics in like the Hudson Valley?
I'm going to say yes as the president. I think I have that authority, unless Rich wants to overrule me. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. George.
Yeah, question for Kathy. Just curious, those notes that you send, here's the games that are still available. Are these games that people turned back, or are these games that you looked and you couldn't find anybody? You looking for them?
There are games that either they are open because they were turned back or they weren't accepted. And I'm not going to wait until Saturday morning to realize the person's not going to show up. So by midweek, if you haven't hit accept, I'm going to put them on the open list. But that is not a good way to run this, right? The ideal way is everyone keep their calendar up to date. I see you're available. I assign you, you accept, and we're done. This is just a second option to try to get all games covered and not scrambling on Saturday morning. That's when this open game process started last season, was to avoid the last minute rush on a Friday night and Saturday morning. So to answer your question, it's both. It's things, all games are assigned out of the chute, and then they either get turned back or ignored, and then they go on the open list.
Okay, thanks.
Audrey asks, where are the meetings? Right now, our monthly meetings are the second Wednesday of every month. And the September meeting will be held at the Boardman Road Public Library in Poughkeepsie, which is over by Poughkeepsie Day School. It will be a video webinar, so for those folks that can't make it, it will be streamed. My hope is that you will be in attendance, either virtually or live and in person. The October meeting is 1 week later because there is a conflict with the High School Referee Association meeting, so that's going to be October 17th. Both of those meetings are listed on the calendar on the HVSRA website, and it also lists the clinic topics and who the instructors are. The board, Rob Miller mentions, you're welcome. Rob Miller mentions about collecting badges. There is going to be a new protocol for this year where we as HVSRA will be distributing the badges. We have set the dates for the distribution of badges. We have not set the locations. And right now, the dates are December 1st, December 8th, December 15th, and December 29th. We will be sending out multiple emails to the entire membership, reminding them of their responsibility to recertify, to pay the state dues, and to pay the association's dues. We are in process of setting up a portal on the HVSRA website where you can make your dues payment online. More on that in the not too distant future. Okay, we're getting close to the 9 o'clock hour. I'm going to take, when is the best time to recertify? Now. Get it done. I sent out a note not too long ago that we would like to have everybody recertify before Thanksgiving, so that the state will send us all of the badges so that we can distribute all of the badges before the end of the calendar year. So the sooner you recertify with the state, the sooner it'll get logged into their system, and the sooner we can get your badge. But you won't get your badge until you pay your dues to HVSRA. When you show up at the particular location, you'll give your name. We will verify it in our system that you've paid. Or if you haven't paid at that time, we can certainly work on getting payment from you, at which point you will get your badge and the latest and greatest laws of the game, which can also be found online, but I always find it helpful to carry the paper version with me and stick it in my bag for game time, for just those fun times when a coach says, but what about this law? And then you can show them that you were right and they need to read the laws of the game. Because that never happens. Anyway, any last questions?
I have another question.
Yes, Marissa.
The question is, when you have that open list that says these are the games available, if you're already available, said that you're available and you weren't assigned any assignments, you weren't assigned any games, but then that open list comes out, do you not look back to see who's available, or is it just a generic list that comes out and says these are the open games? Just because she's marked as being available, but nothing was assigned to her.
So the assignments are done based on distance. And so the beginning, when they first get assigned, it depends on who showed as available, they got assigned. Then they didn't get accepted, then we try again. But come Wednesday, I can't get into that vicious cycle, and that's why it goes on the open list. So this week, obviously, was the startup and a new system, and you know, it was not everyone's on the system, so the games were just assigned without knowing if people were available or not. But so that's why. But I do not recheck availability come Wednesday because it's too late to start the cycle again.
Okay.
Great question.
Wappingers?
What about Wappingers?
I was asked what town I live in.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Marissa.
No problem.
I saw Rick Turi available or wanted to ask the question. Rick, are you still there?
Hey, Brian. No, I'm okay.
Okay, great. From DJ Then, when we are assigned games, will game officials send us any kind of notice via email, text, etc.? Yes. You will set that up in preferences when and how you want to receive a game. My friend Lori Beth reminded me of a neat little perk. So I'm going to change my identity back to official. And I'm going to go to my game. So this little icon here that says info, you can click on that and up comes all the fun information that you need, including who, in this particular game, is my AR1 and AR2, who the home coach is, who the assigner is, current weather, directions, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you, Lori Beth, for reminding me of that. Okay, we got another minute. Any last parting words, Kathy?
No, thank you everyone for joining. I appreciate everyone's time, and we'll get this new system up and running and working for everyone.
Yeah, this has been great. Honestly, this has been our very first HVSRA webinar. So kudos to the 62 of you that joined in. I greatly appreciate it. So with that, I'm going to say happy officiating this weekend. If you're officiating, happy playing if you're playing. Have fun. And have fun. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.